Got a game here between the Atlanta Hawks and New York Knicks. Series tied at 1 apiece. First game in Atlanta. Got the Knicks down 5 here. Brunson with the ball. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to be on him. Jalen Johnson's got 29 and 7, so one of his better games of the series. We got an entry pass into Cat with Kuminga on him. I've been liking Kuminga on Cat. I think he's been pretty physical with him this series. Brunson's going to set an on-ball screen for Cat. Cat's going to go away from it. Pretty good defense here from Jonathan Kuminga. Cat's going to pass this back to Jalen Brunson. Maybe Deuce McBride's going to come over to set a screen. Brunson might just isolate on the wing here. And he sees that, Cat's going to fade to this corner here to create some space. Kuminga's telling the ref it should be a travel, so he's a little distracted. Brunson realizes Cat's open in the corner. He's just going to make that pass, and we have I think Cat should have taken that 3. But he does see a driving lane open, so he's going to take it. And some pretty good defense at the rim right there between Jalen Johnson and Onyeka Okongwu. But wow, OG's going to get the ball here. He has to put something up. Only 1.1 seconds left on the shot clock. And he's going to get the contested 3 to go over Jalen Johnson. Unfortunate for the Atlanta Hawks because that was a pretty good defensive possession. Now we got Jalen Johnson bringing the ball up. OG is going to be on him. Kuminga is going to set an on-ball screen. We might want the mismatch between Jalen Johnson and Jalen Brunson. Knicks really don't want to switch here, so Jalen Brunson might be hedging, and he's going to return to his man, which is Jonathan Kuminga in this situation. He's not going to do that, though. They're going to end up just blitzing Jalen Johnson on the screen. It leaves Kuminga wide open for a 3. Doesn't end up taking that. I feel like if you're Kuminga, you have to take that. You can't hesitate there. OG is going to pick up Kuminga. Kuminga sees that OG is closing out, so he's going to pass this to Jalen Johnson. Now we have the mismatch between Jalen Johnson and Jalen Brunson. And because there's 10 seconds left on the shot clock, if I'm Jalen Johnson, I'm attacking this. He's going to settle for the 3. Not going to go. Cat the rebound up to Jalen Brunson. Nas going to pick him up at half court. And now we have the Knicks flooding the right side of the court. Cat's communicating with someone. He's going to end up setting an on-ball screen, though. Hawks going to switch that, which I think is the right decision. You get Kuminga on Jalen Brunson, and I like that matchup for the Hawks. See, with Kuminga, and Jalen Johnson on the floor, I feel pretty comfortable with them switching most things if Jalen Brunson's going to be the ball handler. So they can even switch this. OG is going to set a on-ball screen for Jalen Brunson as well. We got a double screen here, and Hawks can switch this as well, which they are going to do. Now Brunson is going to attack Jalen Johnson one-on-one, going to get Jalen Johnson on his hip. This has to be a floater. You only have 3.7 seconds left on the clock, and that's a type of shot Jalen Brunson usually hits. And Josh Hart's going to get called maybe with a loose ball foul. So it's going to be Hawks basketball. CJ McCollum going to bring it up. We got Josh Hart on him. Kuminga going to come up and set an on-ball screen. We want the mismatch. We want the weaker defender of Jalen Brunson on CJ McCollum. Nick's going to blitz this screen. CJ McCollum needs to pass it to Jonathan Kuminga in this short roll here. Kuminga can probably create some more separation between CJ and himself in this situation. Kuminga's not going into the space. He should kind of be more going to the free throw line, but he's kind of fading to this wing 3-point line area here. If I'm CJ, I'm still, you could bounce past this to Kuminga and still create a 4-on-3 advantage because you still have Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson behind the play. CJ's going to realize that Brunson's going to go back to Kuminga, so he's going to attack to the basket. Good timing from CJ McCollum to realize the switch. So McCollum got him going downhill. He's just going to get to his spot, step back, jumper, really good look, and he's going to get that to go. Then we get an on-ball screen. Deuce McBride going to set one for Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson might want to be attacking CJ McCollum in this situation. And CJ McCollum's just going to hedge this. Great defense from the Hawks. CJ McCollum's going to be able to close out on this Deuce McBride 3 in time. But Deuce McBride going to do a really good job at attacking the basket right off of this pass. And it's going to stay with the Knicks. So you got Deuce McBride with the ball here. CJ McCollum on him. OG Anunoby is going to set an on-ball screen on CJ McCollum's left side. Or no, entry pass into OG Anunoby. Now we have Josh Hart maybe setting a flare screen for Deuce McBride to come over to this wing 3-point line area on the left side. OG is going to take a really bad shot, in my opinion, here. He's going to jab step, fake the three, and then he's going to take it. But actually, I didn't realize there's only 3.9 seconds left on the clock, so he has to take this shot. It's actually a pretty good look for only 3.9 seconds being on the shot clock there, and OG is going to make 2 really clutch threes at the end of this game here. On-ball screen for CJ McCollum. Jonathan Kuminga is going to be the one who sets it because he has Jalen Brunson on him. CJ is going to go away from the screen, then he's going to return to it. Brunson's going to hedge, go back to his man. CJ might want another screen. Nikhil is going to set a ghost screen here. He wants to go to the short roll here, but Deuce is just going to stay on Nah. He's not going to blitz CJ McCollum. Now we have Jonathan Kuminga in the post against Jalen Brunson. I like that a lot for the Hawks. Jalen Brunson needs to attack that. Gets Cat to double, who is guarding Onyeka Okongwu. Now Anunoby has to help Cat out, close out on Onyeka Okongwu. If I'm Kuminga, this is a pass to the corner for a wide open 3. Anunoby does a good job closing out. Hart needs to be the one closing out on Jalen Johnson. And if you're Jalen Johnson, you have to pass this to CJ, who is wide open for a 3 here on the perimeter. Instead, he attacks. Josh Hart is able to recover a little bit, but he does end up falling down. Jalen Johnson does get a layup to go. But, I mean, Josh Hart very well could have recovered and contested that shot. That needs to be a pass to CJ McCollum, in my opinion. He was wide open. It's a good 3-point shooter. Now going to pick up Jalen Brunson at half court yet again. Deuce McBride going to set a screen, so maybe we get the switch on to CJ McCollum if we are the Knicks. Exactly what happens. Now we just need the ISO. I don't know why we would go to another on-ball screen. Maybe we want the big on the guard mismatch if you're New York. And Hawks are going to blitz this screen. CJ is going to go over. I think Onyeka is telling CJ to switch, but CJ does not do this. So this is an easy read for Jalen Brunson. Bounce pass to OG Anunoby on the roll. Jalen Johnson has to step up. Hart has to be in this dunker spot. Bounce pass to Josh Hart for a wide open dunk or a layup. Nah does an excellent job at helping the helper, and Anunoby realizes this a bit too late for my liking. He's still going to make the correct read, pass this out to Deuce McBride, but Jalen Johnson, because of his help, he's able to slow down OG, and this ball does get to Deuce McBride, but now we got Onyeka Okongwu closing out on Deuce in time. McBride's still going to get off a pretty decent look, and he's going to get it to go. So now we got a tie ball game here. Almost a minute 30 left in the game, and Hawks want to go to an on-ball screen. Onyeka Okongwu going to set it. Now we got a switch. Favorable mismatch for the Hawks. CJ's going to get right by Cat at the rim. Really good block by Karl-Anthony Towns there. And now we got Knicks with possession. We want the screen between Deuce McBride and Jalen Brunson to get the switch. Jalen Brunson's going to isolate. He's going to tell Deuce McBride to clear out one-on-one at the top of the key. Pretty good defense from CJ McCollum. Spin move by Jalen Brunson, and he's going to get the and one to go. This is why we hunt mismatches in the NBA. Knicks take their first lead of the game since the score was 9-6. So it's been a while for New York. Brunson's going to make his free throw at the line, so it's a 3-point game. A little over a minute left. Jalen Johnson's going to bring up the ball for Atlanta. Got an on-ball screen. Kuminga's going to set one. They want the switch to get Jalen Brunson on Jalen Johnson. And I think there's some miscommunication there because Jalen Brunson doesn't fully commit on Jalen Johnson here. Anunoby's trying to fight over the screen. And I think OG thinks that Brunson's going to switch this and commit to Jalen Johnson. Brunson thinks that OG's just going to fight over this screen and stick to Jalen Johnson. Instead, no one's guarding Jalen Johnson. He has a full head of steam to the rim. Cat's going to do a phenomenal job, step over to help, realizes this immediately. This needs to be a pass to the corner if you are Jalen Johnson. He's going to go up aggressive, though, and try to maybe dunk on Cat. Phenomenal defense by Karl-Anthony Towns there. Jalen Johnson's going to get the offensive rebound and put up a layup to go. So if you're Jalen Johnson, I mean, you have to make this pass to the corner. Cat's made 2 phenomenal defensive plays down the stretch here, but unfortunately, Atlanta is able to get a bucket out of that possession. 50 seconds left in this one. Deuce might set another on-ball screen to get CJ McCollum onto Jalen Brunson. It's exactly what happens. Now we're setting the double. This needs to be a pass to Deuce McBride. And then OG may need to step up to this wing area here to allow McBride to make it an easier pass. And then I think one of Cat and Hart needs to go to this corner here, and the other one should go to the opposite corner just to create some more spacing, not allow Kuminga or Onyeka Okongwu to make a good closeout on an OG three. So pass to Deuce. Onyeka's going to pick up OG here. If OG's, on this wing, like I said, this could still be a pass to OG, and then OG can make this pass to Cat in the corner, and that's a wide open three. You're essentially making Jonathan Kuminga pick between Josh Hart and Karl Anthony Towns in this situation. If you are Jonathan Kuminga, the correct decision is to pick up Karl Anthony Towns because the ball would be on the strong side. You need to help the ball on the strong side. And then CJ is just going to pick up Josh Hart. So that's the perfect defense that the Atlanta Hawks would be able to play on this possession. And the Knicks are kind of messing this up because OG is not on the wing here. So now we have the Hawks fully able to recover. Only 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Jalen Johnson on Deuce McBride. Deuce is going to get around Jalen Johnson. McCollum going to help from the strong side. Easy pass to Josh Hart in the corner for a three, and he's just not going to get that to go. OG with an excellent offensive rebound. Shot clock resets to 14. We want a handoff to Jalen Brunson, and we may just let Jalen Brunson isolate here. OG is going to set a screen. Brunson's going to go away from it. Brunson might pull this over Okongwu. Okongwu playing some pretty good defense. Jalen Brunson's actually able to get off a pretty good look here. Has to take this with just 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Nah steps in to help, though, and actually gets off a pretty good contest. High IQ defense from Nah to realize there's only 2 seconds left on the shot clock and that Jalen Brunson has to take that shot. And now we have the Hawks with 16 seconds left trying to take the lead in this one and potentially go up 2-1 in the series. Ball going to be inbounded to CJ McCollum. And because McCollum's going to go under, and then Kuminga's going to set an off-ball screen. I don't even know if he sets it on. Yeah, he does end up setting it on Deuce. So McCollum's able to curl off of this and attack the basket, get momentum, and to get Deuce McBride trailing him. Deuce McBride not really in a desirable position to play defense and stay in front of McCollum in this situation. McCollum step back, gets off a pretty good look, and he's going to get that to go. CJ McCollum has been amazing in this series. So with 12 and a half seconds to go, we'll see what the Knicks end up going to on this possession. We have Deuce McBride in this corner here with Nah on him. Dyson Daniels going to be on Jalen Brunson. OG is setting an off-ball screen to get Jalen Brunson open, probably at the top of the key here. Dyson Daniels going to stick right with Jalen Brunson. Instead of passing it into the backcourt, Hart's going to pass this to Cat. Handoff right back to Hart. Hart's going to probably want to try to find Jalen Brunson, but now you're making it even more difficult for Jalen Brunson to get this ball because he has an all-world defender with Dyson Daniels playing really good off-ball defense on him. So if I'm Josh Hart, you probably should have passed this into the backcourt. So now Cat has to set an off-ball screen for Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's not going to go around it. Instead, he's going to maybe cut to the basket. He's making it really difficult for Jalen Brunson to get this ball. Dyson Daniels is going to fall. So now essentially, because Dyson falls, Onyeka needs to switch onto Jalen Brunson, and Dyson needs to be the one that picks up Cat. Kuminga, excellent defense here, because he knows that Jalen Brunson is going to want to attack here, and he's going to be the one that wants to get off a shot. Kuminga knows that we'd much rather have Josh Hart take the last shot than Jalen Brunson. So he's going to double Jalen Brunson here. Good help from Jalen Johnson to step up, not allow anything easy at the rim. Don't exactly know what Jalen Brunson's going to do here. He's essentially got 3 defenders guarding him with the baseline. Okongwu's playing really good defense. Like I said, Kuminga's in excellent position to help here. I don't think if Brunson decides to turn his head and look for someone at the perimeter, no one's really even there. So this is a really difficult situation. Brunson's going to have to make a very awkward pass, I think, to Josh Hart in this situation. Could result in a turnover. It does. Kuminga's just everywhere, and the Hawks are going to go up 2-1 in the series. So I absolutely loved Kuminga's defense there at the end of that game, and really just the Hawks defense in general. Offensively, CJ McCollum has really been their go-to guy in this series, and he's really stepped up. I think Jalen Johnson, this was kind of his chance to let the world know who he was and how good of a player he is offensively. And I just think, CJ McCollum's kind of outplaying him on that end of the floor. And if I'm the Hawks, I'd be a little concerned because CJ McCollum's on the older side, and you kind of need Jalen Johnson to be that guy offensively at the end of games because he is your franchise player at the end of the day. So that would be the only thing I'm concerned about with Atlanta, but that's more of a long-term kind of thing. And then as for the Knicks, besides the two really clutch OG threes, and then I think Brunson had that and one there, it's kind of the same problems. You're just struggling because you're really forcing the ball through Jalen Brunson. I, again, didn't see Cat that involved offensively, and I think that's honestly going to be key for them if they want to have a chance to win the series.